Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. If you're looking for the ultimate man cave store, look no further. It's Games and Things. They got home theater seating. They've got arcade games. They got bars and bar stools. They got table games. You name it, they've got it. If you're wanting to turn a room in your home into a serious entertainment center where people come and gather, where the neighbors are like, oh, good, the Johnsons have invited us over. We're going over there. And you can't, if you want a place where people won't leave and you have to flip the lights on and off to say, might be time to go to bed, folks, Games and Things. Because life should be fun and they can make your home fun for you, your kids, neighbors, everyone. Relatives will come to visit. Maybe I'm turning this into a bad thing. Games and Things. OurGameRoom.com to learn more. All right. Rapid fire segment here. One question for each member of the panel. Got about a minute for each of you to chit chat on these. Vince, I'll start with you. The Vol baseball team, of which you are part of the broadcast team. Vol baseball team 5-7 in conference play after losing 2 out of 3 to number 3 Florida. They have 3 games at number 5 Arkansas coming up next weekend. What's your concern level for the Vols right now?
Well, obviously, you don't feel as good about it as you did last year because of how dominant they were in the regular season. But it's about the postseason and playing your best ball when it matters. Last year, it didn't carry over what they did in the regular season in the postseason. And Tony Vitello still sees some improvement and still feels like, hey, we're making some progress, and we got to play our best ball at the end of the year. They haven't been as good and dominant in their starting pitching. That's where they're dominant with preseason All-Americans. But those guys still have ability. So and oh, by the way, the schedule has been incredibly difficult. Florida might get some number 1 votes. The team they played before was another number 1 team in LSU.
The only real surprise was the Missouri series to kick it off.
Yeah, and that might come back to haunt them. They're pretty much out of the East race now, but now it's just a matter of seeding and playing your best ball at the end.
Okay, we went too long there. It's my fault. No, it's my fault. Bob, Tennessee is up to number 8 in the National Directors' Cup rankings. That's the all-sports race. They already finished last year 13th, I think, which was their best finish in 2006, 2007. They've got coaches that have been hired by seemingly 15 different athletic directors over there. What percentage credit for this ranking do you give to Danny White?
I'm going to give Danny White a relatively high percentage. And the reason is not because he went out and hired these guys. Obviously, Heupel's his biggest hire. But you've got so much stuff behind the scenes that goes into making your coaching staff successful. I mean, look with Tony Vitello, there's going to be a lot of improvements over there. Look at going to, I about said Stokely. Tell you how old I am.
Yeah.
Go to Thompson Bowling. Look at the atmosphere. So I think even though he wasn't a hire guy, he's the guy who's given them tools to be successful.
Percentage?
I'm going to go 50.
Just 50. Okay, very good.
Well, somebody had to hire the good coaches.
Okay, very good. Ryan, you viewed 50 as a high percentage. All right, Ryan. So many coaches are talking right now about the NCAA tournament expanding to 96 teams. It almost feels inevitable. Is expanding the tournament by 30% good for determining a national champion, or is that a bad thing to water it down?
If your goal is to determine a fair national champion and a true national champion, I would say yes, because this will give an advantage to some of the top teams. You would have buys, presumably, in this format. So the top 8 teams in each region getting a bye. I would also just think it's kind of funny for Virginia to become the first one to lose to a 24 seed. That would be kind of fun in the second round. But regardless, I think having
it'll be Virginia, Purdue, or a more local team.
Oh, I should have said Purdue. But yeah, no, I think it's a good idea if you're worried about that. I don't think that's the real goal, though.
No.
I think the real goal is obviously more money. You'd have more competitive games, and the top 96 wouldn't totally water it down. So overall, I think there are a lot of pluses, but yeah, there's some drawbacks to it too.
Be interesting to see what the networks say, because this was not a highly watched final, worst watched final ever. Was not a good Final Four for the rankings. They want blue blood programs. Mm-hmm. Does adding more teams help the blue bloods if they're getting buys, or does it cut into the blue bloods?
The first couple rounds were highly rated, though.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Chuck, this is a Bob Hodge question. He threw this at me earlier this week. This is interesting. This is we were talking about UConn's hoops run, and then we turned it into football crazy fans. So, would Tennessee fans trade one football national championship over the next 12 years for what UConn just did? 3 NCAA tournament titles in 12 years. one football title? Would Tennessee fans rather have one football title over 12 years or 3 basketball titles over 12 years?
Bob Hodge, thank you very much. This is kind of a hot seat over here.
That's a
right
tough
now.
question.
It is a tough question. Here's what I'm thinking, though. In football, they're going to be expanding the playoff format, right? You're going to have more teams getting in it. Tennessee's got a chance to at least be in the mix more and be a factor. So if you can get one there, I mean, I think that's pretty good. 3 in basketball over 12 years sets you up as people wondering, is Tennessee now a dynasty in basketball? So I can see how just 3-1, I like that better.
Okay. Football seats 100,000. Basketball seats 22,000, 21,000. Football. All right. I think that's where your most money
I know
is.
what
But
I wanna
They're
see.
both pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Let me put up a graphic here. I thought this was interesting. About a month ago, we put up the numbers to show you that I was thinking offense and kind of passed defense in terms of what's most important in basketball. Ken Pomeroy posted the fact this week UConn finishes with a better offensive rating than defensive rating relative to the national average. This is the 8th season in a row and the 22nd time in the last 26 years the NCAA Tournament champion has been better offensively than defensively. I'm just throwing it out there, just filing that away.
Can you call that a trend?
And we're just putting that out there. All right, when we come back, one SEC coach said he would like to see real opponents for their spring game. Okay. I think fans would like that, but would it be better for all coaches? Would most coaches agree with this guy? Would it be better for players? Let's discuss that next. What if Tennessee was bringing in a real foe for the orange and white game? Wouldn't be an orange and white game, but you get the point. We'll discuss that next on the Sports Source.